light yourself well, keep the camera above eye level. I can't tell you how many dating app profiles I see and people just, the low angle, it's just, come on, people.
That's the second reference to you being single, by the way.
I'm just, sure I heard there's an audience here. I'm trying to,
he's good at marketing. He is good at marketing.
You talk about it privately. We talk about it publicly. This is the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered Podcast. Welcome again to the Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered Podcast, where Keith and I can't keep a straight face if only somebody depended on it. Hey, Keith, we did an interesting one. We had a lot of people asking us, how did you go from like nobody knew who the hell you were to running an industry podcast that everybody watches?
Speak for yourself, sir.
Okay, fine. I didn't. But people keep asking, like they're thinking about it, and so we decided to bring the CEO of the production company we use on.
We had Matt Tompkins, the founder and CEO of Two Brothers, who do all of our podcasts for us. And man, it was great information. He talks about going viral and why that's dumb and sort of a fool's errand. The importance of being consistent, how to find your channel. He had some interesting insights. You are definitely marketing in some places you shouldn't, and you aren't marketing in some places that you should. Make sure you listen for that. The importance of finding your niche and his personal approach, the exact methodology that he takes to building content. And he's even got an offering that he's sharing with folks if you want to work with him and learn more. So great conversation. You're going to dig it. Put it in yours, kids.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Why are you yelling?
I don't know why I'm yelling. I'm just excited because Matt's here.
I like the energy.
Energy's good. So why I'm being a complete idiot, everybody, is Matt is the CEO of Two Brothers Creative, which happens to be the company that manages our podcast, does all the productions and everything for it. I said productions, by the way, productions and everything for it.
Here we go.
It's Two Brothers Productions. Two Brothers Productions, redundant productions. We like to really be thorough and get it in as many times as we can.
I've been up since like 4 this morning, so I'm on fire today.
Brace yourself, audience. This is going to be a wild one.
We've had a lot of people ask us how we started the pod and like how it became this, pretty successful podcast. And we thought we would bring in someone who does this for a profession and for a living.
AKA James doesn't know. He doesn't know how to answer that question. So I'm happy to jump in.
I have no idea. That's what Two Brothers here is. That's what they do. So
Matt is you're about to experience, audience, a super nerd when it comes to this stuff. He's about to hit you with all sorts of information. If you want a primer on content creation, where you should be, how to do it. Those are the kinds of things we're going to dive into. And literally no one knows more about it than Matt, but it's going to be wild and all over the place. And he's going to talk about 200 miles a minute. So Matt, let's dive in. Want to?
Yes, that's why I'm single, everybody. So it sounds fun. It sounds like fun and games until you're all alone on a Saturday night reading analytic reports for all social media channels. And
I know.
Which he does, by the way.
Which I do.
Looking for a Subaru. All right. We ask two questions. I'm going to ask the first one. Favorite book or podcast this year ever? What you're reading that you like and why?
All right, so Buy Back Your Time. Buy Back Your Time is a great book. It's a lesson for anybody who owns a business, whether you're a solopreneur or have a team, of just how valuable your time is and how much of it we give away. And there's actual equations and fun things in there to figure out, like, okay, if it's below X number of dollars per hour, somebody else should be doing it. So very helpful. Do I stick to that? Well, I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to check your email. That's the hard thing, because they say you should. James, do you check your email, Keith?
Yeah, everybody checks their email. Like some stuff they write in books is just to say some crazy stuff to sell some books, right? Like, I don't know anybody who doesn't check their own email.
That's like the number one thing they say you shouldn't do is, if you're a CEO or founder, is check your email. It's a waste of time.
So in fairness, and I posted this the other day, I'm playing with a lot of new AI products because Keith finally got me to go off the deep end.
Finally.
And so I've got a product which is really cool. There's two of them out there. One called Superhuman, which is it's an AI based system that responds to your email or responds on your behalf. And then I'm using one called Fixer, which I love. And it drafts my responses and it learns my tone. Now I'm still reading them and hitting send, but it's cutting, I don't know, probably I'd estimate between 30 minutes to an hour out of my day just with the drafted responses. So
is that why you've been so nice on email?
my email tone has gotten nicer. There's a little, and I'm trying to get it to be more nasty. I'm like, that's not how I speak. Shorter, less words. I don't care. Kidding.
You got to define your brand voice a little bit clearer.
But it's picking. It's actually learning the way I write. It's really cool. It's like it was starting with the word best before my signature, and I don't use that. I use regards. And it's like it's learning the stuff. So it's pretty cool, man. But
we'll link to both of those in the show notes in case you want to check them out.
That wasn't why we asked you the question, but there's that.
Hit him with the second one.
Okay. If you could have lunch with someone current or historical, who would it be and why?
Could this be fictional or does it have to be like an actual person who existed?
There's no rules.
There's no, I mean, like Dr. Emmett Brown. I would go with Dr. Emmett Brown. Back to the Future, greatest movie ever made. Obviously, documentary.
Thank you for the context.
Yes,
obviously, a documentary.
So for millennials, this is a movie that was done with. Never mind.
Michael J. Fox.
Yes. By the way, hoverboards were promised to us by director Robert Zemeckis in the behind-the-scenes documentary about the making of Back to the Future in 1985, 86, and it was a total lie, total fraud. What we got with those things that set our feet on fire, and those aren't hoverboards. I mean, so anyhow, yes, Dr. Emmett Brown. I mean, I don't have like a fancy, like sophisticated answer. I don't really care too much about like having dinner with people, to be honest with you. Like, I don't eat. I don't have friends. I don't have a life. I just nerd out.
Come on, couldn't you have like dinner with Gary Vee and have an interesting conversation? No?
I don't know. I feel like anybody into those types, it would be interesting on the surface, but like you get into it and it would just be all about them and it would turn into a lecture and it would just, I feel like I would get bored pretty quick. If I'm going to sit with somebody just for pure entertainment and curiosity, it would be like remember that documentary on HBO, like the Atlanta, like it was like Streetwalkers or something. There was a documentary series about these, like, had this guy had his deep voice. He'd be like, in Atlanta, they walk the streets. And like, it was fascinating. This underworld that we don't even know exists. Like that's somebody I would have dinner with them.
I'm so confused right now.
Noted. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
By the way, just fun fact for everybody that Matt used to be a TV and radio personality. In case you haven't figured that out.
Used to be the key phrase there. Yeah.
All right. Let's get to content.
Yeah. Let's jump in. Keith, take us out.
Go. All right. So, look, you know more about content literally than anyone else I know. You help us with the podcast. You help us build the podcast. Let's just start. This one is one that just I hear about all the time. Everybody wants to go viral, air quotes, right? But like, isn't that kind of wanting to get discovered in Hollywood? Like, you can't try to go viral. Every once in a while, some stuff will be more popular than others. And I find when people start content, they get frustrated by the lack of engagement, right? They do this work to shoot this video or type this thing, and then they post it, and they don't get much engagement. How do you motivate people to stick to the grind of producing content, of pushing stuff out on a consistent, persistent basis, regardless of the outcome? How do you help people with that?
Well, I think you have to go back to the core of like, what do you actually want to get out of this content? So if you're just looking for just pure fluff, you can go get the views. You can buy the views if that makes you feel good. I mean, you can buy these bots that'll give you all the views you want, but it's going to be meaningless in the end. So I think that's like for realtors, for agents who want to actually have success as the measurement tool, the qualified leads, conversions, getting, having new revenue added to their, if they have a business owner mindset and they want those actual new leads, that's a different conversation than if you just want to go viral. Because here's the thing. When we look at everybody from the outside in, you have no idea that video that went viral. You don't know if those are paid. I mean, you'd be shocked to see how many celebrities views and downloads and everything else are just bought for appearance only. That's all they are. So if you don't know if they're fake, you don't know if, maybe they're real. 1 million downloads and none of them came from their market. So it didn't help them sell one home. Like, it didn't help them move the needle whatsoever. So like, is this actually working? And we don't know that, So I think walking into it, that's the strategy piece. Like, strategy is the best word to just encompass anything you do with your time, with content, with marketing. Is what am I trying to get out of this? Who am I trying to reach? And then how am I going to try and accomplish that? The message, the platform that I'm going to use to leverage it to get that, to reach those goals and connect with that target audience.
Yeah. The other piece I'd add there is just, they're reading it even if they're not engaging with it. They're watching it even if they're not liking and commenting. I do a lot of economic posts and no one ever comments. I'm like, why am I putting in all this work with graphs and like this breakdown?
I love your graphs.
Thanks. But then I go to a conference. Well, you don't comment or like it either, you jerk.
I'm not going to be the lone nerd just staying out and be like, hey, nice graphs, man. This looks really good, Keith.
But then I go to a conference or I'll go speak somewhere and people constantly come up to me and are like, man, I really love the economic updates. Thanks for doing them. Right. Yeah. So just because people aren't engaging on the platform doesn't mean they aren't consuming on the platform.
Well, you got to pay attention to, I've noticed this, Keith, on social media the other day. I wasn't really paying attention to it until recently, where it talks about the number of times that your post has had impressions, where it's, it's been seen by people, but you look at those numbers versus the number of people that engage. It's very different. People are scared to engage a lot because there's a lot of keyboard warriors and no one wants to give their opinion. And if they do, it ends up being like a big mess.
Yeah.
And to your point, so I was on stage with Glenda Baker, who's amazing, by the way. She's got an amazing podcast. She's so awesome. And she talked about, there's a word for this. We had somebody on our podcast a year ago that talked about, there's just a word for it, where people follow you, they read your content, they're watching you, and they develop a relationship with you, but you've never met them. Like they feel like they know you and they come up and talk to you.
Is it stalker?
Like, yeah, stalker was not what I was going for. It was a slightly more politically correct word. Same context. But point was that a lot of people are following that content. They're not saying anything. They're not engaging in that. Matt, you brought this point up. You got to have a strategy behind what you're trying to do. You got to start there, right? So if you don't, it's not just I want to go create something to go viral. It's, to your point, it's like I want to get 10 new potential leads in my local market over the next 6 months. Then you want to be targeting that local market with content that might generate that interest. So you can start small and work your way into something bigger, but just get some information out that's strategic around what your audience is that you're trying to hit. I think people overthink this a lot.
They do. I mean, keep it simple, stupid is something I'm told a lot. So I say it a lot to people, but like it is true. So, the biggest mistake people make is we try to be everything everywhere all at once. We think we have to be on every single social platform. We don't even know why. We see other people doing it. We put content out there. We don't know what there is or what we're trying to accomplish. Like, is this empty void of like, if I put it out there, they will come, and it's a drug. It's called hopium. It's hoping that just, okay, this is going to magically take off. It's like when I played in a band, when I did stand-up comedy, you had to have a healthy sense of delusion that somebody's going to walk into that club and discover you, even though there's two people there. And, the two people are like your aunt and your other weird aunt that and it's like, no, it's not going to happen. You have to have some sort of plan. And so you're right. Like to your point, James, like you don't want to just pick one platform to start with, pick one approach and think. That's why it's important, I think, and what I get excited, why I nerd out is like looking at the data, you start to question like, okay, why are we investing so much time in, say, Instagram is the platform of choice by, I think, the entire real estate industry when there are, it doesn't move the needle, not even close to other platforms and options that are out there.
I would comment to add real quick, just because I want to get some ideas here. We talk a lot around things, Keith. I wanted to throw this out there. You could start, just for people who are trying to figure out a starting point, because I know that's everyone just gets stuck on where to begin. So many people do research and they use YouTube. We love YouTube, by the way. We'll share some of our traffic numbers. It's one of the highest places that we get most visibility. You could create, do a video of a new subdivision, do a video of a specific neighborhood, do a video of a really unique house, and just start sharing content that will. People go, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know that about that. Or the builder's doing a certain type of incentive. Like, just think about stuff from that consumer perspective. And by the way, Keith and I have said this 1,000 times. Your face is your face. You can't change it. Stop worrying about what you look like. People see you that way in person. Just start getting content together.
Yeah.
And like, just who cares?
If I can do content, you sure can, right? Like, look at this bulldog
even
face.
more simplified than that. And that's like the approach I would recommend to people who are overwhelmed by this is, start by where your consumers are. Go to Google and just do a search for like, realtor near me or listings near me. Like there's listing videos up the yin yang. It's a race to the bottom on like pricing. And I know I've done that. I did that when I started off in video production. It's that we got that covered. I'm not going to compete with Zillow for the listings. I'm not going to compete with all these different options out there. Right. But what nobody is competing with is the secret. It makes it fun. It makes it simple and it makes it relatively easy to execute. And that is telling your unique story. That is why people are going to choose you to represent them. It's trust. It's just like any relationship you're building. So how can you build trust with people? And then it becomes a fun game of like, oh, I didn't realize, well, wow, I have a friend of mine. He's a successful a realtor here in our area. He's, veteran. He's just serves a lot of veteran families and people who are doing home purchases. And then he tells the story of the impact it has on them and their family. That's how you build trust. That's how people choose you. So then when you have all that content, then they search locally and they say, realtor near me, you're the only one with this unique content. You're not competing nationally. You're focusing on the local market. That's how you move the needle and make it really fun and simple to execute.
Yeah.
Talk about YouTube with us. Sorry, Keith, you had a question. Sorry,
no,
let me interrupt you.
It was just a quick comment, and then we'll dig in on YouTube. I think it's actually not about the first video. It's about the 101st video. Because I think so many people will do one, and almost no one will make it to 101.
Fair.
And that's the key. The key is do it. Just the consistency of the grind and the work is what gets you, because most people will stop, and you just have to keep going. And so don't focus as much on the first one. Just produce it, get it out, push it. It'll suck. My first video was terrible. My videos now are slightly less terrible, right? But you just have to, don't focus on the first one, focus on the 101st one.
Well, and to Keith's comment, our first podcast we did, kind of bringing this back full circle a little bit, like wasn't very good at all. Like Keith and I didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of jumped in and we're like, well, what the hell, And then the second one, third one, we probably got our groove realistically, Keith, by maybe the 10th is where we really started to jive. Like Keith kind of knew our routine. We knew our banter. We kind of got familiar with the process. Now it's something we don't even prep for. We just kind of show up. We know what we're doing. And that shows, and it's just through repetition. A comment I want to make before we jump off to the YouTube thing. Everyone fixates on this so much. You got to remember this one thing. No one is like, the internet's it's not forgiving, but it is at the same time. Like people are used to seeing content that's just crap. Like it's not produced well. This is a highly produced show, but you can do these things and it doesn't have to be. Like people are used to consuming content that's very just raw. And also what you did a year ago to 2 years ago isn't that big of a deal. Like you grow. And I think people get so worried about, like, I got to get it right. I'm going to ruin my reputation. Like, have you seen the shit posted to the internet? Like, no.
And it depends on the platform too. Like TikTok, you can TikTok, and I think in stories, Facebook, Instagram stories, that's a great test pool to dip your toe into, because it's only up for 24 hours. It's shorter form. It is behind the scenes, and that will impact your channel overall and the growth that you have. But yeah, we get paralyzed by it. Same thing with like working out is a perfect analogy with this, where we get obsessed with, okay, I'm going to go into the gym, and after 2 days, I'm going to look, as incredible as Keith does. No, it's going to take 101 days, right? That's when you see the movement. No, you have to have that commitment to the process. The commitment to the process is crucial. And fun fact with what you just said, James, there, 12 episodes, 10 to 12 is where I usually track. That's when a host kind of finally hits their stride of being in that zone. And the average podcast lasts 7 to 10 episodes. That's it. Because people throw in the towel after 7 to 10 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I just wanted to point out that our producer, who's in the chat here, just said that we didn't jive with him until the 150th, which happens to be, I think, this episode. So,
we made it here, though. That's the important thing, right?
Merlin, we still love you, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
back to YouTube.
Yeah.
So you've helped us actually really understand the power of YouTube. I knew it was like important, but I didn't fully internalize that until you and the team helped us understand that. So unpack YouTube for us, why it is such a good channel to focus on for social media.
Yeah. So going back, like, the fancy, I can tell you things like what's a compounding algorithm. So your shorts and your videos build up over time. You can target who you want to reach through specific keywords. You can tag your Google business profile in every single video, including every YouTube short, to fuel your local SEO results. So when people want to search you, you show up. And I can tell you, most of your competitors locally are not doing that. They're not doing any sort of content on their Google business profile, let alone tagging it in all their YouTube videos. They're not even doing YouTube videos for the most part. YouTube, it's like this weird dumping ground. We think we can just upload videos, leave them there, call it like movie one, and that's what we title it. And we just think, okay, I can put my cool video that I had done and produced that I paid $8,000 for, and it's just going to sit there and do nothing for me. YouTube is your number 2 most visited website, period. We're only behind Google, and Google and YouTube are the same. So it really is a joint number 1. But if we simplify this, forget all the data and everything else, Google something right now, and what shows up? If you Google something local, you're going to see at the top the AI answer, which that came because ChatGPT is stealing so much of Google's search traffic. So you have AI answer. Then on the right, you have your Google business profile, local listings. And then underneath that, you have video, recommended videos. On the right, more recommended videos. Your top, and then you have ad. Your top number 1 performing organic piece of content, like website, blog, whatever. It's barely on page 1 anymore. So like it's a local game that we need to be. And for realtors, I'm sorry, but like I've never understood why we're trying to compete nationally when it's a local market. I mean, for most people, you're trying to do business locally in your market, and everything that is presented on that page 1 right now, outside of the AI search, but we can talk about how to tailor it to that if you want to. But like the videos, the Google business profile, all of that right there. That's like an easy just setup to what do they call it in volleyball, where they set it up to like spike it down?
They call it a
volley?
set.
A set. Yeah. It's the easiest set you will ever be given. And it is rare to see people take advantage of it. And Keith, you guys, I mean, you're not uncommon. Most people, when I talk to them about YouTube and I explain why this is like your number 1 channel, like this is important, like your Google business profile. Equally important, if not more so, than your own website that you have. Yeah. And it really, people do open their eyes pretty quickly to this, but unfortunately, I would say the vast majority of business owners, entrepreneurs don't look at it this way. And it's a big missed opportunity for them, huge opportunity for you now. If you're listening, you're like, oh, I didn't realize this is where I should be spending my time, you know?
I mean, for context, our traffic is like we've had several 100,000 downloads of our pod, our audio, but our YouTube traffic's it's basically double that. Just
I mean, I'm looking at it now. I mean, you've got over close to 30,000 hours of time watched on your channel. You went from 0 because we launched this channel with you. It was a brand new channel, went from 0 to over 4.7 thousand subscribers now. So the only thing that you guys did is the exact same thing that we're telling people they can do now, which is you had a daily YouTube short posting strategy, which means 1 YouTube short per day, every day, and you just keep going with it. And then you had 1 long form video with these episodes of your podcast. And people get hung up on the terminology. I just had a person I was talking to after a meeting like, well, I don't know if I could do a podcast. I was trying to do YouTube. I'm like, no, it's content. We're taking long form audio and video content, and then we're using that to create a bunch of other different types of content, from blog articles and written to short form with the YouTube shorts to an audio podcast to the YouTube video you see.
Well, a comment to just for context, we don't pay for any boosting of stuff either, by the way. There's no advertising that we're putting behind it. This is all organic.
This is all organic, yeah.
Yeah. And this is, I think there's a misperception of, this idea that, you kind of comment on it, like, I want 1 million people. And it's like, well, it's actually more about the quality of the people that are following you. So in the engagement, can you talk a little bit about that engagement part? Because we had to get our head wrapped around that from like how Apple looks at engagement of.
Yeah. So like your different platforms, they weigh things differently. They have different names, but they all mean the same thing: engagement. So Apple and Spotify, for example, for an audio podcast platform. So audio podcast is going to takes a lot longer to build a sizable audience download. Like, so you said a few 100,000 downloads. Like that's a large audience. Now we don't know, like, that's the thing. People don't know like what podcasts get downloads with your podcast is kind of like your bench press. Like, you're the only person who knows, and you're the only person who will ever care how much you can bench press, just like people don't know what these shows actually bring in. But the audio side is different. People have different, what we call like consumption patterns, depending on the platform they're on. Facebook and Instagram, entertainment platforms now. People are not going there to make like a purchase decision unless you catch, Uncle Keith and like, buying those like shoes that claim to make him 3 inches taller, which I admit I bought those tennis shoes too. Merlin can actually vouch for that. It's a true story. They
no idea what we're talking about right now.
But those type of clickbait ads, if you get those, like, there are certain things you can do. But for what we're talking about here today, it's just entertainment. People want 3 seconds to laugh and move on. That's their consumption pattern. YouTube and Google are where people are going to have questions answered when they're looking for a problem to be solved, when they need to find something of credibility. audio podcasts, the audio platform, Spotify and Apple, that consumption rate, or how much of each episode your listeners consume, that is, they are seeking to have a very more authentic, kind of raw connection with people. So it's a more intimate format. You're literally, if I have headphones on, you're in someone's head talking to them. So it's very intimate. But all of these platforms, they have different consumption patterns and how people what people go on the platform for. And you can, and people do, turn people off. If you're trying to do educational content or posting something on Instagram, for example, that is not what people are looking for on Instagram, you'll get punished for it. You'll get suppressed. The channels do suppress content based on a lack of engagement or a negative response, worse, like a disengagement with your content.
I think too often, because I won't speak for everyone else. I'll speak for myself. When you were talking to us about YouTube, I was like, YouTube? Like, I never go on YouTube, right? That was sort of my lens that I was looking at it through. And I always go to Facebook and Instagram. So that's where we should be focused. And that's incorrect. What you do doesn't matter. What your potential clients are doing, that's what matters, right?
Yes,
so like,
yes.
You don't want to be, it doesn't matter if you're famous where you go, you want to be famous where your potential clients go. And for that, to your point, education, big decisions, you're going to do a lot of research. Research is done through Google and YouTube.
Turn to your own like search patterns or behavior patterns. Like when you want to do something that's important, of substance or value, where do you go? You go to Google. If I need to find, a realtor, if I need to find something of credibility, if I want to learn how to do something. And if I came to you and I said, listen, if I came to you and I said, guys, I'm going to put you in a Netflix show starring you. Every episode, there's going to be teasers. People are going to be watching this thing every single day. Every week, there's going to be a new episode, and people are going to dive into this thing. And I told you
this idea.
There are what?
Great idea.
Yes, I don't know what the name is yet. Now it's PBJ and K. I was trying to do something with peanut butter. It didn't work on the flyer. But then people think that's incredible. Yeah, that'd be great if I could reach those, 221 million viewers, active users every month. But then we look at the monthly active users for YouTube. It is 2.74 billion globally. So it's not even a comparison here.
Right.
So, and the YouTube thing, all it takes is time and effort. Yes, I would recommend if you have the budget or work with a coach and people strategy, you need to know what you're doing. But that's just night and day difference. That's just, and so we need to break the stigma of how we view YouTube and podcasts and content in general, because we only think of it in one very narrow lens, and we're missing this huge opportunity.
Well, that definitely caused me to think. I look at when we record a podcast, to me, it's it's a podcast, it's a webinar, it's on YouTube, it's on audio down. It's just, we put it in the shorts for everywhere. We put it all over everything, but very strategically. You mentioned this, Keith has been, I say it because we obviously work together and talk about everything. He's been like, hey man, you need to get a Google browser open and leave ChatGPT open on the right. And I've had ChatGPT, I just haven't used it to the extent that I do with Google, but I do it now. So I've got both windows. Whatever I'm typing in for search there, I type in for search on ChatGPT, which, to be clear, comes up with very different answers. I've noticed, even statistics I've asked it to find out, very different. And I honestly am finding ChatGPT is actually
more accurate.
What I'm kind of leading this question of how does AI tie into all of this? So
two ways, the immediate tie-in, and then where we kind of already are, but where we're definitely heading as far as AI, as far as a search and user functionality. So right now, everybody's aware of, there's, I don't know how many AI tools were sold on every single day now on social media. Wow. There's too many of them. Let me tell you, the easy comparison is this. The AI is the world's best co-pilot, and you should use it as your co-pilot instead of a human, because it's a million times better than the best human co-pilot ever was. But don't ever make AI your pilot. You are the pilot. So you have to be putting this filter through it, especially when it comes to marketing more than anything else, because all these decisions are based on emotional based decisions. That's what marketing is. It's all about perception. And so you can't just use AI as a tool and say, just do it all for me. Write this blog post, do this. it's not going to perform. It's not going to do anything. Google has their, what they call their EAT formula, which is all based off of lived experiences, the human experience. So use it as a tool. It's foolish not to, but don't let it do everything. That's like the current, like where everybody should be. Where it's headed though is, you're right. The simplest way to explain this is people go to a search engine, Google, Bing, Yahoo, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, which is Google's AI platform, and they want an answer to a question. They want a problem solved. They want a solution. And what happened is, as I described that homepage layout for Google now, you don't get an answer. What you get is, I mean, before AI, their AI search answer was put in there. You just got, okay, add, got to scroll through those. Google business profiles, got to scroll through those. Video. Then you got to, I got to read this blog now. I got to find out if this is even have the answer. Like what ChatGPT circumvented that and said, no, we'll just give you the answer. And it is now represents, I believe it's around like 30% of search traffic. Reddit is, I don't know what the percentage is. I want to say it's around 15, like 12 or 15%, but it's sizable. And I did this with my doctor. I was dealing with some like unknown like health stuff for a couple months, and I couldn't get answers. I went to, I don't know how many doctor visits and specialists and everything else. And I finally took everything and I just copied my lab results. I put it into ChatGPT. I said, can you give me some answers? And it finally did. It gave me more information in that one search and then recommendations on things I could do and what this could be. And I'm like, went into my doctor, like, why aren't you just doing this? This is what people want. They want an answer. So for your content, James, to your question, like, how do we leverage this to your advantage? Provide answers. And so when you're putting things into YouTube, a blog format, what are your Google business profile, simplify it. So don't get too cool for the room with your website. You know, we build lives, we make dreams come true, like that. Don't make that your title on your website on the above the fold there. It's, you know, we buy and sell homes in the Tampa area and we do it better than anyone else. Like tell people this AI, not people, tell it like what you actually do in just simple, straightforward terms. That'll help a ton.
A follow up, because I have to ask this. So I've been playing with this AI model called Sesame. Freaks me out. Be honest with you.
The video one?
I'm getting, Keith, just leave him alone. All right. I'm getting into this shit.
No, I love it. I love it. Welcome to the party.
I'm getting into it. I'm getting
Welcome
into
to the party.
Still freaks me out.
Yeah.
It's scary, Matt, like how accurate the voice, it copies your voice. It does a video of you. I mean, it freaks me out. So my question is, you said, make sure you're the pilot, you know, that you don't become the co-pilot. Do you see a world where AI is going to generate this content too? Like where, I don't know what my question is. Like,
how long until we're uploading a script?
Yeah.
And there's a AI avatar of me that is like, I'm just uploading a script and it's producing the video content.
There. Yeah.
Well, we're already there as far as we were just looking at this. There's an app that I would recommend it to anyone to use called Captions. Pay, I think it's like $25-$30, pay for it once, but they've released all these new avatars, which are AI generated people. And some of it's a little shaky, but like it's close. Like it's not hard. I was just looking at a platform the other night for like courses and education tutorial, like internal how-to videos for your corporate building or company. You can get these AI avatars that do look real. As far as simulating you or me, like that takes a little bit more compute time to do. That's a little bit trickier to do at scale at an affordable price point for people, but we're not far off, and they can replicate your voice. I've done this many times to get all kinds of free things ordered under James' voice. I just, I mean, between that and his email that he's using now, I can just
so much right now of what the hell's been showing up in my email and my credit card statements.
I think too, and I don't have anything to base this on other than opinion, but I think as AI allows for more and more super hyper polished content, I think we're going to see a demand for the more sort of guerrilla, grab the phone and
I agree
record.
With
you.
Well, because we'll know it's real, right? We'll know that's a person and not an AI.
But what's critical that people overlook is like, it's not a matter of like how much can AI replicate us and get better at looking like us, sounding like us, delivering a speech with just a script you upload better than us. It's already there and it's going to get better at that. What AI cannot do is feel. I mean, AI is a sociopath. It does not have feelings. And so there is no way, and we see this in the data bears this out. Like yes, you can have well-crafted prompts, but those prompts are built on you. You have to input your data, your perspective. So Google's looking for expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So that is not any of the things we're talking about here, these cool tools. They're a co-pilot. They're a great tool. So yeah, should you use them? Yes, absolutely. But is that AI video avatar, is that going to connect with somebody who has been through a lived experience like you are? That the trust factor, and that it's not. And then Google it's not like I can detect probably 95% of AI created content, and Google can detect 100% of it. So like if you want to show up in these high dollar searches, whether it's ChatGPT or Google, like you need to tap into yourself. That's the missing link here. People forget is what makes you unique. Okay, great. You're a realtor. There's how many realtors? Okay, you're in this market. Okay, how many are in this market? Okay, how many have lived your experience and can tell your story to connect with people? And that's where influencers have an incredible value and a place. Micro influencing, it is effective. You can have a smaller audience, 5,000 people following you, have more impact than somebody with 500,000 because the 5,000 person audience, they are doing something that is true and unique and to them and their story.
And it's niche and it's deep, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
People resonate with it deeply.
Shifting gears just a little bit to get really tactical for just a second.
Okay.
I think the biggest reason people don't do it is because they don't make it or don't succeed at it is because they don't make it to that 101st video. So give us a structure, a format for people to get content done consistently. What's your plan when someone says, okay, Matt, I'm ready to start. Give me the structure on how I should do this.
Yeah. So make it attainable, number one. So like if you're thinking, okay, here's what I'm going to do every day. I'm going to learn how to edit videos. I'm going to download this platform here. I'm going to get this captions thing I heard Matt talk about, Keith and James, and I'm off to the race. I'm going to do special effects. I'm going to do music, and it's going to don't try to be everything everywhere all at once. So instead, pick one platform. I would recommend Google or your YouTube. Channel and your Google business profile where you can post the same content, right? So make it simple and easy though with this process. So here's a simple process that you can knock it out in like 30 minutes or less. It's easy to do. So go on ChatGPT, Gemini, do your research here, give it some parameters. Like I want you to present me with the top 20 questions that consumers are asking. These consumers are, give it a name and age specific who you're trying to speak to. They're a 55-year-old woman above $100,000, who your ideal customer you're trying to reach is. Give it as many specific details as you can, but I want to know what are the top 10 to 20 questions that they are asking right now in Google searches. I want to know the search volume and I want to know I want these questions that I can answer in content. So be detailed with this prompt. It'll kick out these questions. You can pick one of these questions, and that's where the process begins. Answer one question. That's it. Yeah. So get your phone, get yourself well lit, where you don't look like you're in a dungeon being held hostage. You don't have a window behind you, so you're just a silhouette. Like light yourself well, keep the camera above eye level. I can't tell you how many dating app profiles I see and people just the low angle. It's just, come on, people, get it above the eye, above the eye.
Second reference to you being single, by the way.
I'm just, I heard there's an audience here. I'm trying
he's good at marketing. He is good at marketing.
But you need to keep it at eye level or above. And then answer that one question and do it just free form. Like, best, let's say, what's a good question, Keith? Like, how do I find a realtor I can trust? Let me tell you how you can find a realtor you can trust, and then rant on it, riff on it for 20 minutes with your video, just doing it raw. There's plenty of platforms like we're using Riverside.fm. It's helpful. It'll kick out a transcript. You take the transcript, run that through ChatGPT to write your blog article you can post on the website. It'll even generate the images for you. And you can say, hey, incorporate keyword research, search engine research, is nuanced it as detailed as you want. You have Opus.ai. It'll edit shorts for you. Not as great as a person editing them, but still something is better than nothing. My point is you can create all of this content. You can do it relatively quickly and efficiently in that 20-minute answer that you just gave on video. But here's the key. So like, I'm not going to an AI platform saying, hey, create this video, create this blog, create this thing. I'm saying, here is my unique perspective, my take, my lived experience. And I want you to take this and then you go do all the nerd stuff, the AI stuff that you're great at, the technical stuff, the keywords, the search intent, yada, yada. Let it do that part, what it's good at as your co-pilot, but you have to be the pilot, which means you are the one who is telling the story. So if you can lay down a 20-minute story and do it on your drive home, even maybe set it up like if you got 20 minutes to kill, you're waiting for your spouse to get ready. I always got 20 minutes once a week where I know I'm going to be sitting here just twiddling my thumbs. I'm going to knock out a 20-minute video. And all I have to do is answer a question that I provide the context just from my own experience. I don't have to be an expert on it. I just tell. That's easy and it's fun and it's effective.
And if a 20-minute video sounds too intensive, do a 5-minute video.
Yeah,
do a 3-minute. Just get it done. Yeah,
like whatever it takes just to get it up there. The more repetition you do things, the easier it gets. And the one comment you've all heard me say multiple times: don't worry about what people think. Just ignore that noise. You just got to keep focusing on the content. You'll get better. You'll get more comfortable. You're always going to have people write comments. Keith loves reading them. I ignore most of them.
I have fun. You gotta hug your haters,
and then I fly. I'm
not me. I like it. You gotta, but it's because I don't know. You gotta hug your haters. That's how I feel.
Haters are bringing engagement just as much as the lovers. So like,
usually maybe more because you get into a conversation. That marriage of AI. I'll tell you one of the coolest things I've seen lately. There's a company that is using AI to aggregate stories, and they've got a platform you can just search any story, local, regional, etc. And then the AI will write the script for you in 3 different voices, kind, aggressive, knowledgeable, right? You basically get everything you need to shoot content, and it's all right there, right? So you've got to find the things to lever so that you can just hit record. Right.
Yeah.
And so I'll link to that. And you've got something that we'll put in the show notes. And then you've got something that you're rolling out that we'll talk about in a second. But what's the biggest mistake that you see people make with content creation?
I mentioned like trying to be everything everywhere all at once. That's probably the number one overall mistake. And I mentioned that earlier. But I think the other thing is just assuming, right? We play the hope game, right? We're addicted to hopium, as I mentioned. But like we also assume a lot. Like, if you ask people, why are you posting every day on Instagram? And I don't know. That's where but are you trying to appeal to consumers or other agents, other realtors, who everybody is on there competing? So we need to open our eyes to like, where is our audience actually spending the most time? And a good example is this is like Instagram versus Pinterest. So Pinterest is like, I don't know why it's so overlooked. Only 5% of real estate agents nationwide use this platform at all. It's a 100% pure visual platform, just like Instagram is. You have the audience is 85% women. And guess what? 91% of women influence or make the home buying purchasing decision. And so if I was to pick any platform to be putting out, how to whether it's remodeling your bathroom or your home or whatever the content you're posting on Instagram, I would be posting it on Pinterest. Instagram, on the other hand, 87% of your weekly users post content on a weekly basis. That is very, very oversaturated. So you got a high competition threshold there. It's oversaturated. And is it working? Like, you've been posting on Instagram for how long? And is it working for you and your business? Instagram has less than a 1% engagement rate with businesses when it comes to businesses trying to generate leads. It's mostly personal. So like, that's a good example of like stop thinking in like the caricatures, like TikTok is only dance videos and YouTube is where I house my Christmas home movie from 1985 that I just, digitized. And then, but like Pinterest or LinkedIn is another one. LinkedIn has a 1% of their weekly users post content every week. That's a huge market right there. So if you're B2B, especially if you want to establish credibility and just be seen and have that legitimacy, being in front of a microphone or in front of a camera, LinkedIn, writing written content and doing like we just talked about with that kind of methodology or that system, put it on LinkedIn. Like, I would do those two ahead of Facebook and Instagram. And Facebook and Instagram, we get hung up on a lot. People will post on those a lot, and they really hinder people a lot because they don't see results and they think it's them or they think it's marketing or content. It's not.
I mean,
it's
I can tell
the platform you're on.
Just from my own social media, I spend the 2 platforms I spend a lot of time on, is Facebook, LinkedIn, and then Instagram. But I can tell you the most engagement for me is always on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
What I wouldn't have, you kind of would have thought maybe Facebook, depending on demographic. And there's a lot of engagement there, but I find I get a lot more engagement on LinkedIn and a lot more keyboard warriors.
when you want to make a
Keith didn't
purchase,
laugh,
do
by
you
the way. I was supposed to be Keith.
when you want to make a purchase decision or something like that, though, James, do you go to Facebook and Instagram and use their search engine?
It just depends. Ironically, I've actually noticed I've been buying more stuff from Facebook, but it's usually from short form content, like the short form videos is where I get it. I'll see some 10-second little thing on it, and then I'll be like, "Oh, that's interesting." I'll hit learn more, and I'll go.
Well,
I've been also on a health kick, and I find that I've gotten a lot of really interesting stuff from that.
the stuff I buy is when I've already looked at it in my research on Google and other places, and then I get retargeted. So that's when I usually end up buying something. So that might make sense for Instagram, right? Taking your targeted list and retargeting them with
services. I feel like service is a little different though too, and especially big purchase decisions are different. Like most people are going to go do the search Google and YouTube. And the last thing I'll say like on this overall is like that's how the marketing funnel has changed. For the first time in the history of the marketing funnel, it changed. So this isn't just like a generational gap thing, happens every 20 years, but it shifted where now if you don't have content, for people to validate you on their own, you don't exist and you fail. If you have bad content, that's their perception of your business. And so people are going to validate you through Google, YouTube, or if it's Gen Z, they're going to use their social channel, TikTok first, then YouTube and Google. But you need content to validate yourself as a business to reach those customers.
So let's wrap with this because we're getting near time. You've got a pretty cool offering that you're rolling out for people who want to get more support and help in and around content. Can you unpack that for us a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer of it here is like I'm always been a big fan, and I think what's driven us and what we do from the start is actually helping business owners, entrepreneurs who are overwhelmed with this. And we get to nerd out, we get to learn, and then we get to help people with what we've learned. And so that's I think, the core passion of like myself individually and then as a company. And it's a defining principle, I think. We call it the Midwest mindset, where it's just helping others without expecting anything in return, which it does have the biggest return of all when it comes to business in the long run. And
New York's the same way. Why is that a Midwest thing? No.
I don't know. I don't know. Are we going to the same New York? No. But this, the real estate marketing box here, which is the website as well, the URL, it's just an offering. We wanted to have an offering specific to agents, to realtors who's like, they can actually afford this. And as part of this, we created a whole course specific to marketing for real estate, to the industry. So like a lot of the things we're talking about here, we hit in there. There's like 8 bundles you get access to, and it's like $99 for this course. But then we also have added services like you can get content created for you each month, and we simplify the process I talked about earlier. We kind of help do that for you. So it's a way to get moving with learning about what you need to do, understanding this so that, at the very least, you don't get ripped off by high-priced agencies. At best, though, we want you to actually embrace this and okay, I get it now. Now I see it, and be able to have a platform to ask questions and get the help you need, and then the content created for you as well. So realestatemarketingbox.com is the website, and we should run some sort of like Uncle Keith special. I feel like we should have like some sort of
you're
special.
Leaving me out here.
Do you have a cool nickname though? I mean,
Dwiggy.
Uncle Keith.
He's Dwiggy.
Hello, Dwiggy.
He's Dwiggy.
Yeah.
Is that as cool as Uncle
By the
Keith?
way, I looked up my nickname in ChatGTP and it doesn't know who I am yet. It's a bunch of bullshit. So I got to work on that.
We will link to the content
crazy
box.
Uncle Keith and see if you show up.
Do it.
So,
You know I will.
Crazy Uncle Keith.
Oh, it's crazy. I didn't know there was a crazy in front of it now too. Okay. I have a crazy aunt,
Hold on.
Marla.
We're searching ChatGTP. Let's see what it says.
Proof we do this live. You have a crazy aunt.
I wanna see what it says. It says can't be found, loser. Just
whatever.
kidding. Didn't say that.
What it say?
Dwiggy is one word, so it might work better if we did like a discount.
Oh man, it knows who you are. That's bullshit. Like Crazy Uncle Keith is the nickname of Keith Robinson, co-CEO at Next Home in the real estate industry. He's recognized for his candid, humorous, and insightful commentary on market. This is a bunch of crap. I'm going over to Google. That's it, ChatGTP. I'm going to Gemini. We're out.
I can't think of a better way to end this podcast than that. We will make sure everybody knows about the cool content box that Matt and the team are putting together. And Matt, seriously, to you, Merlin, Myerden, and the rest of the team, you guys are amazing. There's no way we could do this without you. So thanks for all the hard work.
Absolutely,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Pleasure too. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
It's our job to say out loud what everybody's only thinking to themselves. It's your job to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode.